Hello, all of you delightful beings out there, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and this is DevTales, where we're going to be working on our SCAR system, or Stories and Creatures in Alternate Realities. It is a tabletop RPG system that we've been developing for just about 3 years now. So check it out on itch.io as well as our Discord and let us know what you think. To start out with, we're going to be going through suggestions.
Suggestion.
We have a lot of suggestions people have made.
We haven't exactly kept up with them either.
No. So that's why we're going to start doing that in the first hour of all of these dev sessions. Just getting the note document set up here. There we go. Alright, so first up on that suggestions. Scroll all the way to the top. Come on, Discord, work with me here. There we go. Alright, so that is the creature suggestion.
There's going to be a lot of creature suggestions because people use it for creature suggestions instead of just mechanic things. First more feat ideas show up at September 7th, 2024.
Oh boy. There really are so many creature suggestions.
Well, eventually
right.
when the core system's done, we can just release a build your own monsters kit and throw it to them and they can fill the bestiary in an hour.
Well, the problem is getting art.
Yeah.
The problem isn't coming up with the creatures. The problem is getting the art for them. Because, of course, we can't really just release it without art.
Well, you don't need art for every creature.
Yes, you do.
And I'm assuming we're going to need art for the main book, too. That's the Zim.
It's one thing if we were, just putting in werewolf. We wouldn't need to do it for that. But when they are all unique creatures, we have to put in art for each and every one.
So about suggestions.
Yes. Alright, so wind, personal atmosphere. The air around you is always a comfortable temperature for you, which may be warm or cool as one sees fit without becoming extreme, allowing you to function even in otherwise hazardous conditions.
That's airbender nonsense.
Yep.
Literally.
But also, functionally, it's also kind of like a shittier version of Stormborn.
Does Stormborn cover temperature?
Covers weather.
I guess.
Not that one.
This suggestion might have been made before Stormborn, too.
Probably.
Maybe. But Stormborn has been, just sitting there on the feat proposal thing that hasn't all been migrated over, for a while.
Honestly, I don't know about keeping Stormborn in the first place, but that was one of those where, we had the Pokemon ability, so I was trying to make an equivalent feat.
I'm just bringing up that that's the current, equivalency.
Either way, for personal atmosphere, I don't think we should. I don't think that's worth a feat. Not by itself. It's way too situational for 25 XP cost.
I could see it as a magical effect, though.
Yeah, that or because like also with the flavor of this as well, we could also make it so it protects you against maybe it could get put in as like an aura that ensures that clean, comfortable temperature air is like surrounding you in an aura to stop like gas effects or something maybe.
I say we make it a spell then. Or a word.
Need more notepad. Do you want me to handle it, Tel?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Elementalism or...
I mean, I feel like this will probably end up going under
weather?
weather, but weather isn't like an existent school currently, unless we want to just like fill it up with some smaller things like this until we get actual weather rules.
I would say go ahead and put it in there.
Here, let me...
Because, like, sure, we don't have weather rules and whatnot, but that doesn't mean that we can't put a spell in there and such.
I'm going to put it near the beginning so it doesn't get missed. And I will deal with this. Like this. There we go. I'll put it there for now. I will grab it later.
Alright, next up from Vari, we have Fire Feat Idea. Cauterize. Inflict 1 point of damage on a willing target or yourself to cleanse the target of any non-fire damage over time effect.
This is back before we made the changes to damage over time.
It is. Hello, Wing Zero. So do we want to keep it, or... Or use it, or just be like, yeah, well, you kind of made the adjustments and don't feel it's particularly relevant anymore.
I mean, I could definitely see the point in a feat where you take some damage in exchange for instantly expunging DOT effects on yourself or an ally or something. They're pretty easy to get rid of, but you still need to take a cleanse in order to do that.
What's the action? Well, this would allow you to basically just poke somebody for 1 damage and clear them. I'm not... I'm wondering if it's a little too good, because...
Yeah, well, I wasn't thinking about it just being 1 damage to cleanse all dots. I was... But I was also trying to think about, like, a conversion ratio, and it's definitely something that I think we could explore, but we'd need to figure out what we actually want to do.
So it's not a bad idea, it just needs to be rehashed to fix current setup.
Yeah.
Mala, lethal damage is regular damage. Unless you're meaning turn it into non-lethal, which, no.
Mm-mm.
Cauterizing a wound does not get rid of the wound.
It just stops things from bleeding.
Yeah, which I guess we could also like try and turn. I could also see like an interesting addition, basically being a dot detonation effect that we could put in somewhere. But going back to like the actual intent of this, which is trade a bit of damage in order to stop dot effects.
No, it doesn't even. Yeah.
I mean, if we want to have it at a ratio, the reasonable ratio would be like 1 health of damage clearing away 2 dot. That would be like the mathematical version. With it being like, slightly more efficient, but like that's as close as we can really get it. Is that really... Do we think people would want a feat to trade dealing 1 damage in exchange for clearing away 2 dot? Like, it's an interesting emergency option, but I don't know if that's like something that people will actually want as like a permanent feat on their character.
Yeah, that's kind of my issue, is if we don't make it good, why would people even bother picking it up in the first place?
It's one of those weird ones where I'm sure somebody out there would take it, but...
Yeah, it's more like it's super niche. So if we want it to be more like widely appealing, we could kick it up 1 health, removing 3 dot.
I'm not sure how I feel about it, honestly. Is there a place that we can stow it as a temporary thing, like a workshop section on the feat dock or something?
Not
We could also...
really.
No. But, I mean, I guess we could go back to actually using the feat proposal document and, like, actually, like, I guess modernize it a bit. I mean, granted, we also still have, like, very critical feats that are just sitting over there that we do need to move over.
Yeah, we could always ask... We could always throw up a poll, too, and just be like, hey, how many people... Or how usable do you think this feat is?
I frankly don't think I want to bother with a poll over that.
Yeah, let's... Do we want to revive the Scar feat proposal, which we'd have to update anyway when we actually move over some of these feats, and make, like, a section for, like, workshop feats?
Yeah, we can do that. For now, we'll just leave it there and come back to it.
Cool. In that case, I'm gonna name the first tab of the Scar feats proposal to approved feats, and the second tab to workshop feats. There you go. Now we can use that for organizational things.
And in that case,
We
go
really
ahead
need to
and throw that in there.
Yep. Actually, I'm just gonna... Oop. Click duplicate instead of delete. Feats. we all that. We set all of that. Name. Authorize subcategory. Doesn't really matter that much, actually. I'm just gonna put the original. Whenever we're wanting to workshop one of these, I'll just put the original in the description area.
All right.
Alright, to the next one. Astral Feature, Xenoglossy, grants 1 success on any lore or academics roll. Able to read, but not necessarily fully understand, languages they do not already know.
First part is kind of like reliable skill.
I don't
I think
think...
Domi has... Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically reliable skill, but with the second part, I don't think the second part stands out enough to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, which means if we want it to be good, we'd probably want to pick either lore or academics. Probably lore if they're meant to be, with the glossy part.
Yep.
And make it so that way maybe it scales off of another stat, or
See, the problem is that in canon right now to the system, there aren't languages either.
yeah, but
So
we're probably gonna put languages in anyway. We already have a skill for translating languages you don't understand.
true.
So, what if it grants, you know what, we were trying out some of this verbiage in the magic feats that we were putting together. So what if it was grants extra dice to lore checks equal to half of your etiquette, because etiquette is the language skill, and then the second part is able to read but not necessarily fully understand languages that they do not already know.
I think that'd be way stronger. And set it apart from the language, or excuse me, the reliable skill.
Works for me. Let's add it to the workshop.
All right.
Why do I want art of the three of us now sitting over a table with hammers and tools? Bashing a light bulb.
I think we were using it like with this sort of language.
Be right back. I'm gonna get a drink here.
I would definitely say that the xenoglossy should probably only apply when it involves a foreign language. Or an unknown language.
So do you want? Let's go ahead and change etiquette and lore then. Because if they're doing something with the language, it's going to require rolling an etiquette check. So. That wording better?
Drink achieved.
Yeah, I like that.
All right.
Next up from Era. Oh, what's up?
Ages ago, that was a self note.
I was gonna say, when we think that something is good, I'm gonna put it in green like that.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Make strike maneuver a quick action.
I think we already got something like that, so...
Well, currently we don't, and we were saying that we didn't want it to be a quick action.
Yeah, so that can just be deleted.
I mean, it'd be a really good feat. Just being able to do a strike as a quick action.
I mean, a quick slap is always funny.
Alright, another creature suggestion. Ah, another item one. Alright.
At the key.
It's 2 item ones in a row, actually.
Yep.
Same as I did last time. At him and go, you're in charge of items! There, you're in charge of items. Why are you making item suggestions? Even though these were before he was in charge. But I don't care. Gonna go with that. Alright, Taldarius. Feat. Multiple defensive maneuvers in a turn. Ooh.
Yeah, that one's been sitting there for a while.
I'm just going to delete the next one because it's the same
It's
thing.
the same thing again.
Yeah. Can you tell I use the suggestions as a note-taking thing for a while? I don't know if that still holds up today, Taldarius, does it?
For the feat suggestion?
Yeah.
I mean, we do not have a way currently if someone wanted to, for instance, basically go full defensive with their turn. Let's say someone wanted to brace and dodge, which would be like the equivalent of maybe covering up and trying to get the fuck out of dodge. So we don't really have a way to do that at all. There'd have to be a note saying, you can't repeat defensive maneuvers, and you'd have to eat the defensive maneuver cost for all of your defensive maneuvers, but we're already allowing people to use cleanse multiple times a turn if the situation, technically speaking, calls for it, by replacing failed actions with cleanse, so... It would also let you do things like cleanse and brace, cleanse and dodge, parry and brace, parry and dodge, parry and cleanse. Because it is currently a thing where if you make someone cleanse at all, they cannot parry, dodge, or brace. So,
Yeah, I think we can allow that. Just no repeats of defensive maneuvers.
All right.
yep. Because otherwise, people are gonna dodge, quick dodge, and then use an attack, and it's like, cool, you have +2 difficulty hitting me.
Well, I guess I add it to the feat sheet.
Yep.
Yep. I was gonna call it like practice defense or whatever.
Naming conventions can be changed later.
Not cute. Let's see. All right.
Alright, so this one from Colada. I don't know if there's something like this in the game already or suggested already, but I was thinking about this for a bit earlier. Blah, 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 blah. Feat, the Silvered Tongue. Make a roll using presence, persuasion, or deception against an enemy in the current combat, and tell the storyteller what you say, in an attempt to sway that enemy to your side. Based on the roll, the storyteller decides if the target is swayed. This effect is intended to be permanent, but the storyteller may say it is only temporary.
As funny as permanently stealing people is, probably not allowing permanent stealing of people.
Yeah, definitely not that.
At least not on a feat. Like, if you literally convince someone else, that's fine, but this is like a feat ability that you could technically trigger on everyone.
Yeah, mechanically, it's a little... It'd be one of those things where that player would take it.
Yeah.
And we already have Charm.
Yeah.
I'm actually fairly certain we already had Charm when this was a thing, or when this was
Oh, we did.
suggested.
Yeah.
Like, I can see
Because
what
we
they're
had
trying
aim,
to
because
do,
we have
but-
aim by Era's suggestion right there, and we've definitely had charm a lot longer than aim.
Yeah, I see that, yeah.
I can see where they were going with it, but...
Yeah. Now, look, I fully get, considering I have, one of Shade's personalities does this literal exact thing. I just use charm. And it's not permanent, it's just a temporary thing. But, that we do have a mechanical existent thing already. So, unless we want to have a feat that applies charm, we can just say that, charm is the intended effect for this sort of thing.
And also the other part of it is we conditions use the social skills.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, it's extra funny because they
Yeah.
didn't include all of the social skills. They left out etiquette.
I know, right? All right. So from Era, feat suggestion: quick aim. Make aim a quick action. I don't know if that feels.
Well, we have other ones that allow you to do a thing as a change a standard action maneuver to be a quick action. Like we have quick dodge.
Yeah. I guess we could.
If we wanted to do more,
Oh no,
'cause
I'm worried
aim
about it
isn't
being
as-
overpowered.
okay. Well, I mean, if you think about it, aim really only affects accuracy.
Which in turn affects how likely you are to get a crit.
Yeah, that is true. But what I'm saying with that is, I feel like the defensive maneuvers are far more impactful than the aim maneuver. Especially because we currently don't have... We have one feat that supports the aim maneuver, I think, and it's in the feats proposal document with analyze weakness. And in that description, it says each combatant may also apply any upgrades to aim they have, but we don't have any aim upgrades. So we intended to put in feats to upgrade aim, and we never did.
Alright, we can add it.
Yeah.
Do we keep the name?
I mean, quick aim is like the correct name for it.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good name for it.
Yeah. I mean, it's the standard that we're using when we make a quick version upgrade of a maneuver. We literally always call it quick and then put the maneuver. Actually, maybe we don't always, but I know we usually do. We might not have done that for... Did we do that for cleanse? I honestly forget if it's called quick cleanse or brief cleanse. I think it's quick cleanse.
It's
though.
quick
I
cleanse.
think it's quick cleanse. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have quick cleanse, quick dodge, quick aim.
Quick.
Alright, next up from Kenku with the new death rule, Iron Will. You do not go unconscious until you reach half your max health and negative hit points. This doesn't prevent you from bleeding while at 0 or less hit points. That's already a thing.
Yep. But I don't remember if it was a thing at the time. I didn't know if
I
we
don't either.
had the affinity feats yet.
I don't think. I think at the time this would have been applicable, but we changed how all that worked.
No, that was with the new death rules existing.
Hmm.
You said at the beginning, with the new death
Didn't we
rule,
change
I
it
think?
twice though?
Maybe we did. It might have been the first time.
Doesn't matter, it's
Either way,
irrelevant.
we already have it. We have it already. It's fine.
Yeah.
More monster suggestions. Alright, feat suggestion from Key. Muscle memory / logic loop. These feats would provide a +1 success when performing the exact same action or sequence of actions more than once in a row. The bonus would not apply to damage in the case of moves or attacks, potentially stacking up to +5. So, example sequence, move 5 feet, use move X, use move Y. Turn 2, move 5 feet, use move X, use move Y, but that time both of them at +1 success on accuracy. And then turn 3, move 5 feet, use move X, which then has +2, but then you use brace and that breaks the loop. I can definitely see the value of this, but I also feel like it goes against the spirit of the system.
It would synergize well with, what is it, building power?
Yeah, building power would love
Yeah, it really would.
Because- Also, getting players to track their exact actions every turn.
that. Yeah. That, and we do have follow-up, which works in a really weird way now, where it only activates every other turn, but we do have follow-up for repeating. I guess maybe not repeating the move, but like repeating target.
I feel like I want to veto it. Because, like, the point of the system is to be creative with things, and this one kind of is like, it's pushing people to be the fighter that goes, I go up and swing my sword. I go up and swing my sword. I go up and swing my sword.
Yeah.
But that's my thoughts on it.
This would be something that we throw in later for the advanced players, honestly, anyways, I think. If we were to do anything like this.
I personally just say no.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, but I don't... This is just one where I don't think it fits within our design philosophy.
Yeah. So unfortunately, looks like it's going to be a no for now.
Just remember, we do not have to accept any of these suggestions. Or
No, we
try
don't.
to make
I think
them
it's
work.
funny that you responded to it already, but it'd be a counter to the CSS and such. Right underneath it.
Yeah. But yeah, I just don't think
Oh,
it fits
I
within our
did.
design philosophy, is what I was saying.
Yeah. So I think this gets vetoed, unfortunately.
Alright, so let's remove that. Remove that. That. From Geeman, standardized charts/sheets to help storytellers build traps, enemies, and environmental damage. That is already planned, but we kind of need other things to be done.
Yep.
I think we have a loose one out there somewhere floating.
We do have a loose thing, but not... It's in the storyteller section, very loose.
So yeah, you can just move that.
Remove that. That's another creature. We need to add the weapon proficiency traits to the feat dock.
Yep, we already did that. That was a note again. This was back when we were using this as the note sheet. There's reasons why we don't do that anymore.
I never used it as that.
You used to tell me to put things in there when I thought of it.
Probably. Ah, another item. Alright, remove that. Next up, feet. Quadruped finds a way. Requirement 4 legs, no arms. Your paws count as tools for the purposes of crafting and lockpicking. That's already a thing, and it looks like I responded to it as appropriate.
It was already in the rules for creative equality.
Yeah.
Yep. In fact, that was one of the first rules we had. That was there since the beginning.
So, delete that. Delete this. Delete that. Night vision. Can see in the dark with no issues. Already have that.
Yep.
Although maybe we should consider the dark vision not being in black and white.
Is
They're
that actually a
paying
part
50
of it?
XP for that. Yeah. Well, in the short description it's not, but in the long description it is.
I'm okay with removing that part.
Yep. I'm about to say, it's like 50 XP into a feat tree. They can see in normal vision up to 60 feet.
I'm not gonna bother actually highlighting it because I doubt anybody even pays attention to the black and white part. It's just gonna just poof it if I can find it.
I forget which one it was, but one of them did have the black and white part.
No, it does not.
One of them did. Did we already remove that at some point? We might have already removed it.
I don't think I ever added that. I was surprised when you said that it was added, but I did not remember adding it.
Where was that? Because I know it existed for a while.
You might be getting confused with Pathfinder or the like, because I don't have any recollection of this.
No, it was... I remember now. It was early on. I'm actually... You know what? It might be in the Proved Feats document where it was like that too when it originally got moved over, and we changed it after.
Maybe.
Yeah, I just checked. In the original Feats thing, it was in black and white, and we probably changed it when we moved it over.
Fair enough.
But that's why I was thinking about it like that, because it was originally like that. I forget what we actually changed. I'm pretty sure it was pretty soon after. I think we've had this discussion before.
I don't know. Either way, on to the next one. Treasure Hunter. Requirements 2 dots and appraise. Increase bulk by 3. You may take an hour to appraise an item in order to succeed in identifying the item without a roll required. You cannot know story defect with this.
That's a take 20 idea right there.
Which if we're gonna add that, we might as well just add the take 20 effect anyways, but I don't think we want to do that.
Probably as an actual rule instead of a feat.
Yeah.
Probably. That's something I think we should consider a little bit later in the system development, to actually look at auto successes and taking 20s as being feasible or not.
Yeah.
Originally, we were talking about it with having your pool as the amount of successes you get, and then I brought up that technically speaking, that means unless you have a specific advantage with the roll, you should always never roll, because you'll get, on average, higher value out of just taking half.
Yeah. Also, we don't have bulk rules quite done yet. Like, I think we all are probably on the same page conceptual wise, because I feel like we are, but we haven't exactly.
No, we have actual bulk rules.
Yeah, how much?
Well, we do, but we don't have like container rules and whatnot.
No, but you know.
Which for that, I'm just gonna be stealing from what Hal came up with for the Star Wars game, because I like those rules.
Is it?
Yeah.
I kind of figured that was the way we were gonna go. It's the easiest way to go about it.
Yeah. It really is.
And it just makes sense, so. And tail bags.
Yep. Era, just so that way you know, it basically just flat increases your bulk capacity, and then depending on the backpack or bag type, container type, it'll have a quick access slot that can hold up to like point whatever bulk in items for quick access.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to suggest, honestly.
Yep.
Like, there's... It's tier and size of the bag. That's it. That's all that really needs to be important.
Green Party asking if drawbacks are still a thing, but that's... Yeah, that was only for flavor. Tal responded to that. That's not needed. Just suggesting there be a spot on the sheet, even if it's not mechanical. I mean, that can just go in the notes section on the doc.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the character sheet.
Also, you probably don't really have to write down the drawback you came up with for your own character, but yeah.
Yeah. Alright, another feed from Green Party. Retrieve the wounded. Requirement 1 initiative. When taking someone who is unable to fight away from a fight who is adjacent to one or more enemies, double your move speed and you cannot get opportunity attacked as long as you have not used a move that turn.
So, trying to translate when retrieving an unconscious ally, double move speed, and no opportunity attack. So long as it's your first movement.
Yeah, it's a get out of jail free card.
I think it's...
it's getting someone else out of jail free card.
Yeah.
And move meaning an attack, I believe. So basically, if you
move back then. Go ahead.
I feel like that is talking about because it says used a move. We do specify movement.
Oh, I see what you mean. I took that as movement.
That's what I did too.
So basically, as long as you haven't attacked, you can just get somebody away from combat. This is kind of a combination of just using both standard actions as movement and having the quick dodge. Which honestly, I mean, he doesn't say what action this would cost, but I think we should just go ahead and say no to this.
It's one of those feats I don't feel like anybody's actually going to take.
That too.
Because it's a very situational use.
Yeah, because we can also just point out that you can take the disengage action and then take a movement action as well, and it doesn't like give the double move speed, but like, you know, we'd need to do a lot in order to make it like an actual feat. And that's assuming that someone, like, you know, you don't have someone on your team that can, like, you know, maybe try and teleport the injured person away.
Which, speaking of, I came up with a feat that we'll be looking at the to-do list.
Cool.
Yep, let's do one more feat, and then we can move on to other things for the day.
Yeah, that sounds good. Teaching of monasteries. Strike costs 1.2 instead of 1.5 times more than regular. Strike maneuver can be used twice per turn, once as a swift action, once as a standard action. Well, we already do not want it as a quick action.
Yep. It can already be used twice a turn.
Yeah, it can already be used twice per turn. So the only thing that
real effect
actually is available there would be reducing the cost of getting it. Or upgrading it.
And I guess having, like, a feat to basically have, like, Strike Adept or whatever would be pretty decent, but also I thought that, just between us, we were gonna have it be these kinds of effects in the might section.
Yeah.
So
probably. I was gonna have something akin to that in the might section, yes. Just power.
So we can axe it and then just go something like this is already intended for the might section.
Yep. Kuro, please don't pin my arm. I need that. Thank you, buddy.
All right. So that's it for suggestions then?
It has been
about
an
an hour.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Alrighty. So next up, let's go to... You know what? I want to... You what?
And I'm gonna pin the next feat that we didn't get to.
Oh, that's a good idea. Alright, I want to show off what I came up with for leadership and probably get absolutely destroyed because it's terrible. So yeah!
Alright, cool.
Page 120.
Here, let me sign in really quickly so it stops being slow on me. Preview this, touch on magic feats, and then get into martial.
I did add a lot of, there are a few discussion things that we should check over.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. All right, take it away, Zim. I'm listening.
Well, a lot of this is, fluff, kind of fluff text. Important things, default ability command. You are able to use a standard action to basically give an order to your allies or minions, and if they... And basically they get a temporary stat change that is relevant to what you give the order for. So if they are commanded to attack, attack the boss, they get +1 damage stat. If they're ordered to move in a direction, they get +1 speed, etc., etc. The commands do need to be somewhat specific. You cannot just tell them to attack, you must specify a target. You are able to issue a different command to each ally, but they must be able to hear you and within range. This ability would include short range for free. The reason for that is, getting this is 25 XP, and short range is 10 XP, and if you look at the cost for a guaranteed stat change, that is at base 18 XP, but that would be for a long-term one as opposed to temporary and conditional. So I figured it kind of evens out to get the short range for free. Especially because you're shouting.
I'm about to say, it'd make it kind of useless if you could only order people that are actually adjacent to you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, that just doesn't feel good. So... immediate questions.
Mm-hmm.
First off, what if someone is already the maximum stat change just because, let's say, they are like a stat buffer, and then they go in on like round 2 or 3 for the actual fight. But like, now they're all hulked up.
That would
this
still apply.
Doesn't.
It would
It
not
would still
help
apply.
them.
So, do we want to say that? Do we want to call it a stat change, or do we want to call it a just say, for instance, getting +1 damage while following the command?
So just +1 die, period?
Well, not die, because you said damage. So
Well,
I'm saying, like,
+1
instead
die
of just
to the
saying
relevant.
stat change. Yeah.
+1 to the relevant roll. I was thinking about that, but then I was like, oh, right, for moving, that wouldn't really work out because you don't roll for movement. But
We could also put in a thing that says the +1 from this does not count towards your maximum of +6. Which
This
is
only
moment,
lasts for a
guys.
round, correct?
it lasts until the end of your next turn. So this turn and next. Well, I guess their next turn. At the end, if it's at the end of their next turn, there's some wonky things that you can do with that, with like held actioning. But yeah, it's fine. But either, I just wanted to bring up the edge case on this. Do we just want to say that it doesn't count towards the maximum?
I think Zim just AFK'd.
Oh, okay.
sorry about that. Rex wanted to talk to me real quick. What were you guys... What did I miss?
Oh, I was just like kind of rambling about the situation and just going like, yeah, do we just want to say that it doesn't contribute towards the stat change cap?
I'm okay with doing away with the stat change thing and just saying that they get +1 dice to something relevant. So, if you're ordered to attack a target, you get +1 accuracy or damage. If you're ordered to move, then instead of +1 die, you get +5 movement speed or such. Whatever the case may be. It's just a small buff. But I'm okay with changing it away from being stat change.
Do we want it to stay... Okay. So, like, let's say you give a generalized order that is like a skill check. Because the other thing that I just thought of... Yeah, because the other thing that I just thought of is that this basically also acts as, like, an outside of the... outside of limits, assist. If you use command.
We can also say that this is only applicable in combat situations. Which I'm okay with, because, you're a commander on the battlefield, not...
You're a captain on the ship, not a shipwreck.
Maybe like...
Yeah.
Maybe not, like, only combat, but, like, threatening situations or something like that. That way, if it's like, hey, you need to do this thing or else we fucking die, the commander, the leader can still go, like, pump them up, like, a little bit, but,
Works for me.
In situations where initiative is required.
I think
Might
we'll
be a
keep
good
it
way to
on
word that.
threatening situations, because I do know a lot of storytellers that don't like to rely on initiative, even though, avalanche is coming down the mountain at you. They don't want to go into initiatives for it, but...
Or
Still,
it's like, maybe you don't really need to go into initiative if you're, like, caught in a trap and trying to escape.
True. I don't know, I abuse the snot out of initiative, I think, maybe. All right.
Alright, made notes of that. You can ignore the table there, because I just copy-pasted that.
Yeah, that was just, initiative copy paste. That's fine.
Obviously, you got medium range, where I do mention that short range comes for free with this. Long range, which requires medium range, of course. We'll come back to the minion stuff, because that might be a bit more of a discussion. So enhanced minion and number 2, we'll come back to those. And the next stuff here are basically for several of the maneuvers, you are able to use your reaction to allow an ally to use their reaction to take the maneuver. So brace, whites of their eyes is for aim. Shake it off allows them to use cleanse. Fallback is for disengage. Get the fluff up this one requires the shared breeze feat, but it may be used as a quick action to essentially use shared breeze at range. You got steady for the prime maneuver, and inspired health is granting an ally preventative healing equal to your dots and presence. I'm gonna add to this.
AKA, you give up your reaction to give them them an action.
You give up your reaction to let them use their reaction in a difficult situation, Got that crit coming in. Well, here's a brace.
Yeah, so basically, both you and the target use your reactions, and they get this effect.
Exactly.
Okay.
Being that battlefield commander, watching the flow of battle and seeing, oh shit, this is a bad thing, change plans. The get the fluff up I wasn't certain about because I looked at shared breeze and realized, wait, there's not a range on this, so it's kind of implied as being touch, but this gives you the ability to use it at range instead.
Yeah, which is why Nova constantly goes up and boops things.
Yeah.
As it stands, Go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't know about having it require another feat, because I could certainly see situations where people would want this in order to be able to tell one of their allies to second wind as well. Maybe the shared breeze could be like an upgraded thing for it.
Telling them to do it themselves, and then if you happen to have the shared breeze, you can use it at range. Might be a little bit more better.
Because, or we could also move that effect to, a fleet upgrade for shared breeze. Because I also don't know about that being locked into going down the leadership tree.
Honestly, that one was inspired by Payday. And you have no idea how much I wanted to, instead of doing fluff, do F asterisk asterisk asterisk.
Yeah. Well, we use that as a replacement anyway for.
Oh
but,
yeah.
For flop's sakes. For Fwam's sakes.
For Fwam's sake. But yeah, we should. In my opinion, we should probably make this so that way it works the same as the others, but it lets them use the second wind maneuver. But we probably should also put in a feat that lets you use shared breeze as at short range, or
Aura range, maybe.
Or aura range, yeah, something. Maybe not like aura. Primary. We have feet ranges. Why are we discussing it? So I can use it with a feet range. Was that should either be a part of Shared Breeze or an upgrade to Shared Breeze, probably, instead of locking it down a primeval path. Because this would also mean that, like, for example, because like I've been purposely picking up all the second wind upgrades for Nova to like help people out. I would have to go down this in order to Shared Breeze people from ranged, and I'd as funny as it would be
For Nova to be the leader?
for Nova to have legit. You know what? I'm more tempted to do it anyway because of Vari just having Osmond point at him and go, "See, he's the hero," and Nova just acting dumb about it. But as funny as it is, I don't know about that being a part of the design that they have to go down this tree for it.
Alright, I'm good with making that a feat instead. And then just making this the same as the others with the second one being a reaction.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you want the Shared Breeze upgrade thing to be a different one, or you just want to tack it on that they can use it within feet range.
I would say this would be a separate feat. It'll probably be one of the ones that refunds part of the, cost.
I was just making it like a 15 XP one or something.
Yeah.
20. We should probably stick away from the calling it like a refund one. We should just call it like a variable cost one, or like variant cost something. I don't know. Because having them purchase it and then getting a refund is also kind of awkward. Instead of just saying that, this feat costs X instead.
You make a fair point there. We can go with that.
By the way, so fun fact about Shared Breeze. It is one of the best team enabler feats in the system. The reasoning why is because if the Shared Breeze user... I haven't had a reason to do this so far, but if the Shared Breeze user is able to use their Shared Breeze thing, they can allow the other people to eat all of the cost because, you divide up the cost as agreed upon between you guys. And so the other person can just eat all of the cost, but instead of having to burn a vigor and a will, they only have to burn one of either.
Fair.
So it is a really good team enable feat. It's just that also, Nova is a bit of a selfless idiot, so he just, generally speaking, will just eat the cost usually anyway.
I repeat, the Fwam Wars killed many.
But yeah, you guys good with all that then?
Yeah, I'm fine with it as is so far. The Minion part makes me a little nervous, but that's a bridge we'll have to cross when you got those things solidified, I think.
Yeah.
Well, that, like I said, is going to be a longer discussion.
Yeah, I was about to say, I've not read through the actual, discrete minion effect things, but the actual leadership effect command things is, I'm A-okay with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Alright.
There's your battlefield bard people.
So, the next question for this would be, what do we want to set for XP on these? I'm kind of thinking just a flat cost across all of them of 6 XP?
I would have said closer to 15 off the top of my head. Your thoughts, Tal?
Did we lose
Alright,
Tap?
So,
Oh.
no, I was just thinking
He's-
about it.
Processing.
Yeah, so because the thing that I was thinking is it doesn't use one reaction, it uses one reaction across two people. So the thing about that is, depending on how much we really value a reaction, like even just penciling it as, I don't know, like 5 XP or so, that's 10 XP of cost, which would then, like, in my mind, that puts it more around a 10. Because you're requiring a reaction from 2 different people, so you have to use up 2 people's reactions. And unless they go through the reactionary initiative feat, that is all of their reactions until their next turn.
So 10.
I was thinking, my original thought was 9 each, but, yeah. I kind of was like, maybe 6 instead, but I'm good with 10.
Here's a good question. Are we at all considering, in the future, making it so that way you're able to give commands to multiple people at a time with these sorts of feature upgrades?
So the baseline command you can give to as many people as are within range.
Yeah.
For these, I was planning it's, you know, you would, if you want to do it to more than one person per turn for the hold the line and all that, you would have to basically get the reactionary initiative feat. Because I did see a reason to make more of them. You know, when there's already a solution right there. And I'll probably put a note in here that this pairs very well with the reactionary initiative feat.
Yeah, well, I just didn't know if there was, the reason I wanted to ask is, because I wanted to know if it was ever planned to make, like, you know, what would be the, like, an equivalent of, like, a capstone upgrade where they get to affect a bunch of people with those ones.
My plan was this. My plan was this is done outside of suggestions that you two have, or things that I come up with later.
Yeah. By the way, just this is a complete aside. You want to know what's extra funny about the default ability command thing, giving you know, some stat changes while they're active? That is, funnily enough, exactly what Vane's banners do.
Oh,
remember the season 1 banners he got, and they became boon items in like season 2. They give team wide +1 stat changes.
well, fair enough.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny.
But what are you thinking experience-wise?
I was still leaning around 10. I mean, I guess I'm fine if it's lowered because of the base cost of getting into it. Because, to be honest, like, the 4 XP, in my opinion, doesn't make that much of a difference. I guess it'll add up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with 6. 42. Be 42 to clean sweep it with a cost of 6, for this section at least. 42 XP. And then for it being around a 10 would be 70.
Yeah, I'm even more leaning towards the 6 now.
Well, that's why I totaled it up.
Yeah.
Well, 6 it is for now, then, I guess. We can always change it.
Yep. To be fair, I mean, I guess... I guess it's EXP, like, efficient, but going with another number would lead it to be, like, you know, wonky in a different way, so...
Yeah.
I'm fine it trending on the side of good.
Alright, the only one in here that does differ from the rest would be the Inspired Health. This ability may be used as a quick action to grant an ally preventative healing equal to your dots in presence. They may only receive this once per short rest. I think instead of the once per short rest, maybe they can only have one of this. They can only have this preventative healing active at a time, you know. Only once at a time, but kind of just tossing it out here for thoughts. Hello?
I was just thinking about it. Because the thing that I was
Same.
actually thinking about is whether we want it to be preventative but more restrictive, or if we just want it to be restorative. Because restorative is supposed to be more like the adrenaline getting back on your feet, but your wound isn't actually fixed thing. But I also think that part of the design of this is being able to do a quick action on someone that's being threatened and giving them a bit of a shield.
Exactly. That was my idea behind that. For them actually getting back into the fight, that's what the Get the Fluff Up was for.
Yeah.
Maybe instead of once per short rest, it's once per scene.
Once per scene would be better. Yeah.
And that way it's not just they're going into combat with that active. Good night, Havoc.
Is this going to end up being more experience? Or is this going to follow the 6 as well?
I'm open to making it, 9. Because it is a little bit more... It is outside of the others, and it is, health, but...
Yeah, I mean, making things give preventative health is an 18 XP effect, so it's going to be less effective than a dedicated preventative health healing move. So...
Well, unless you
most-
get your dots and presence way up.
Well,
5.
even then, it's still at most 5.
Yeah, but if you're also going down this tree, you're probably picking up a presence specialty for leadership as well, but yeah. So yeah, 9 I think is fine, because you're probably going to be applying about half the amount of preventative healing that an actual healing move would do.
And it is only once per scene, specifically.
Well, each individual can receive this once
Yes.
per scene.
So I think 9 would be fine.
Yeah.
And I guess we should probably specify. And it expires at the end of the scene. End of the current scene. Just so that way they're not just, uber buffing and going into combat. Alright, so 9 XP. Okay, so next up, I think we should go to discuss minions as a whole. Because and that's kind of why I was holding off on actually introducing magic yet. Because the actual effects of Arise and the other ones that are like it in here are a little vague to me on what exactly the minion has.
They're kind of intended to just basically be the equivalent of they have this amount of health, all of their defensive stats, like, you know, are this. Like, let's say if they have a defensive stat of 3, like, all of their defensive stats are 3. And they have access to strike, and their strike power is this. So when they roll a strike, if it connects, they would have this. I guess we should also designate strike accuracy. But it was basically meant to be like, by default, they don't have much, and if you want them to have more, you're going to have to equip them with something else somehow.
Yeah. But there's also the question of how many actions they have, because, like, for example, a companion has very limited actions at the start. I think they only have standard and reaction. Oh no, they act on your turn and only have a single standard action. Which I think is how the minions would work by default. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is that it will also tie into the leadership primeval feature, where one thing that I was thinking of would be that the enhanced minions would then get 2 standard actions, as well as some stat upgrades.
Yeah,
I want to standardize minions as much as possible across the board.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely behind that. I'm just thinking about it.
Because that also includes, like, you know, you go to the local village and recruit a bunch of peasants. Or in the case of, like, Furvis, he just picks up this old droid, repairs it, and has it in his army now, you know?
Yeah,
Because right now it's currently way too vague. We need something standardized, and
we might want to break minions up into... Because what I'm thinking is we could also include, like, 2 categories of minion. Trained and untrained.
New beginnings.
Michael, thank you very much for that follow. Welcome.
And the reason that I'm thinking that is because, like, you know, with your example, like, you know, you go to the local village and you pick up some peasants and you, like, conscript them because, you know, there's about to be army of demons attacking, yada, 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 and you need all hands on deck. You being a good leader, I don't know if that should really translate to, them suddenly gaining a bunch more actions.
Well, as far as that goes, remember that these are, you know, inherently a magic of its in and of itself.
Yeah. But the other thing that I was thinking of is if you have this, like, for example, like, let's say I wanted to hire out mercenaries. I'd have to hire out mercenaries that only have a single standard action per turn. even if they are supposed to be otherwise competent.
That, yeah, you're right. That does bring a problem.
Which is why I was considering trained and untrained minions. Where maybe leadership can upgrade untrained minions into trained minions.
But then,
But that
what
still
would it
leaves
do
the
for...
option. If they're already trained, maybe it gives them a quick action as well. Gives them the full action economy.
Fair.
But, having the trained and untrained mercenaries, or not mercenaries, but trained and untrained minions in the case of things like mercenaries versus peasants versus, all of that, I feel like that would probably make a lot more sense and be healthy. That way, we get some amount of granularity in it without it also, requiring us to make a shit ton of rules for minions. Instead, we just have 2 stat lines / upgrade stat lines for trained and untrained minions.
To be fair, my original plan was just 1 stat block, but splitting it up I'm okay with. Also,
Well, because the other reason that I bring it up...
go ahead.
I was going to say the other reason I was just bringing it up is because character tier. Is why I brought up having the upgrade pathline thing for character tier.
I'm thinking what we do. We stick with the untrained and trained being 2 separate things. But they will be in different tiers. However, what I would want to do on that is instead it is kind of like you've got the rise right now where it's X is just equal to the tier. And that way it gives some more flexibility to the storyteller to be like, well, I'm giving them somebody that's stronger to them, so here, have this, you're currently tier 2, this minion is tier 3.
Yeah, and you can also, let's say, you have your little cadre of minions, with Furvis, with his droids, and, let's say you do a big upgrade on one of them, and now they are a trained minion instead of an untrained minion.
Exactly.
And then, so all you have to do is keep track of, okay, I have 3 untrained minions and 2 trained minions. Here we go.
And the trained ones can come with, 2 feats and stuff like that. And just instead they are, 2 feats intended for, armor and weapon feat, but whatever they want to use it for. We're just going to heavily encourage players to just have 1 stat block that you use. Well, probably 2, but try to keep it small. Reasonable.
Yep. Basically making it so that way, hey, look, maybe don't try and run an army. At least without the fucking mass combat rules that I kind of cobbled together for funsies, and I kind of want to go and update.
Yeah, that will be happening. Unlike other systems, we'll include that in the base system rather than an obscure expansion.
I'm not saying obscure fucking. No, we'll just put in because no matter what, people are going to want to have a fucking army of some kind at some point. So there might as well be rules for it.
But
But yeah, I think untrained and trained is the way to go.
I agree.
Alright. I'm gonna go get dinner.
Yeah, go for it.
Bye.
Pat the Artie. You're a good boy.
Bye, everyone.
All right, while he's being cute, I'm gonna go grab a drink.
Do we want to take a short stand-up?
I'm okay with that. And as far as tonight goes, I'm good to go all night, so...
Yeah, same here.
Because DAH is canceled anyways.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
And God knows we've got plenty to discuss.
Yeah, always.
Drinking out of my dragon cup.
So with this, we need to discuss what actual stats to put out for that. And how it's going to impact things like Arise.
Well, Rise can just have it, make a untrained for the expend and then a trained for the burn. And it could just make a minion of that tier.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That works. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, I'm not looking to overthink this.
I was definitely looking at this and going, and overcomplicating it for myself.
I'm just like, look, if we're making streamlined minion rules that have discrete tiers and there is a shitty and a good version, that is like already kind of just like really easy to slot into the magic word system.
Yeah.
Something, 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 copy paste.
I am thinking, yeah, before we put out the magic system, I want to have the minion rules set up and good to go. Which in turn will also impact leadership primeval feature, but that one's a lower priority on that being included in the update, but I know with Asher, I'm wanting to go, you know, I want to pick up a rise real fast. And I know others are going to want to go with various things. Squirrel would probably pick up the one for Automancy, yeah.
Animated automaton.
He will absolutely animate all his weapons and just have them floating in a circle around him. And make more
Vane's
weapons.
gonna go down magic as well. He literally, for plot reasons, he needs to pick up the memory sift word.
Meanwhile, Thales in the corner, I just heard people. I'm your anti-healer.
To be fair, Shade's also gonna have to pick up a little bit. Because, you know. If nothing else, making Shade even harder to kill is pretty funny.
Alright, so I guess pulling... So I guess pulling from this, the Arise...
Whoop.
That'll already be a, I just wanted to reword it real quick while we were already here.
Yeah, yeah.
And make sure we were okay with this being the kind of thing we're doing.
I am perfectly okay with that. It
Cool.
does mean they won't be able to get tier 6 minions, but that's fine. Well, no, they can, because they just specialize, so yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, if you're specializing into minions, you're probably already going down 3 lines.
Yep, and it's also just the case where, like, you know, let's say you get a mastered specialty, you can get all the way up to, like, tier 8. But, you know, at that point, you know, you are trying... If you're doing that, you're trying to Lich Master it the fuck up.
Yeah.
And I am fine letting people do that if that is what they are putting all their whole ass into with their character. These don't even need to be can concentrates. Oops. Anyway. They had different rules. But yeah, looking at it, untrained minions. I think most of these can kind of like transfer over, like translate pretty fast. Like, I'm just gonna fuck this up real quick. Don't worry about it. So like T1 untrained, and I go MHP 3 PE 1 PI 1. And then I copy and paste that real quick and change that to tier 2.
It just doubles all those.
It doubles all these. Except for the action, obviously. But at least now we have a good look at like how this will just, physically look.
So it's literally tier time, or for MHP, it's tier times 3. For PE, PI, EE, EL, SS, it's all 1 times tier. And then same thing with strike and strike power. It's just 2 times tier for untrained.
Yeah, which means that, like, let's say you have like a tier 4 untrained, like, let's say, you get something that's like highly magical, someone that has like, a magic bloodline or yada yada, but you found them on a fucking farm. Like, they'll have some decent stats, but also like, they're going to be too useful until they actually get trained. And then for the trained version of this, if I go down,
Three and 3 for strike accuracy and power.
it's 4 and 4, but yeah.
4 and 4. Okay.
And they have 2 standard actions. And tier 2 version, just for example.
Where's my
But
calculator?
obviously, you may or may not be getting trained minions properly on your level as easily. Because, like, for example, this burns motes. So you're not getting too many of these out.
But
And, like, trying to get these on a permanent basis, like, a tier 2 mercenary is probably what you'll get. A tier 2 trained minion mercenary is, probably considered to be more around, like, the standard of what you can hire. So early on, you're probably only getting tier 1 trained.
Yeah, I think this
The only
actually...
thing I'm slightly worried about is the defensive stat scaling, but, also, this is for the trained mercenaries, or I'm going to keep calling them mercenaries because that's what most people are going to have. They're going to hire people, hirelings. But for trained minions, this is, getting a trained minion is probably considered a big deal anyway. Or we want it to be considered a big deal.
We can always ship it and reduce it later. I think this is simple math and a quick and easy way to do it. So it's easy to ship and it's easy to adjust.
Yep.
Yeah, the defensive stats are my concern as well. Like, I'm good with the HP, I'm good with the strike. It's the defensive stats that are going to outpace a player quickly.
Yeah,
Do
which
we
is what
want-
I was thinking about with that.
Do we want to do a plus instead then? Instead of times for the defensive stats. Ooh, Whiskers!
Yes,
2
we
plus
are doing
tier
the
instead.
Whiskers.
2 plus tier will keep it at about the same while reducing the scaling for like the intended thing. So yeah, let's go with that, which will change this to 3s, which is still honestly fine because, low max HP. And this would stay at 4s, but tier 3 would only be at 5. And, if you're a tier 3 character without having a kind of above a 5 average in your defensive stats, you might want to invest more in your defenses. You know?
Well, minions should never be stronger than players, anyways.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, if the minion is outpacing your defensive stats, maybe reconsider your build a bit.
Unless you're absolutely designed to be out of the way.
Well, yeah, unless, you know, you want to be playing healer made of fucking glass for whatever reason, but, you know.
Glass mage.
Yeah.
Glass cannons.
But just, you know, if the minion is outpacing your defensive potential, maybe reconsider.
But that would be very simple way of handling defenses without them ever going over what players do.
Yeah. Which is kind of why I wanted to do that for the minion summonings anyway. Because this is just about the only thing I could think of that made sense while maintaining utility without just being, like, extreme outpace.
I think this is good, yeah. At least for now. Like, later on, you know, you get that tier 5 trained minion, and they are... Well,
Probably already a prime candidate for the number 2 upgrade, but, you know.
Probably.
If you have a tier 5 trained minion, that man is already your fucking lieutenant, probably.
And if he's not, you're an idiot.
Alright. So then, what do we want to do for the enhanced minion then? Is it just going to make untrained into trained? Or do we want to... Because then
You could also have it just upgrade their action economy.
I feel like that's a little underwhelming.
In that case, just having them upgrade is going to be very influential anyway, because effectively what it's going to do is it'll give a flat +2 to all of their defensive stats because of how the scaling works.
Mm-hmm.
It'll double their strike power. It'll double their strikes.
So, the problem that I want to point out here is that what if you're wanting to enhance an already trained minion?
Well, in that case, giving them the
Plus
quick
one
action
here.
is... What? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying +1 to their tier.
Maybe instead, what we could do is have a separate train minion ability for the leadership primeval feature that you can use to change a minion to a trained one. And what I'm kind of brainstorming here is that they can... The enhanced minion, I'm thinking it'll set the HP to being equal to yours. Oh no, that would be a bad idea. Maybe just +1 across the board from it? What the fuck is that?
+1 to your defensive stats all across the board is already, you know, going to be good regardless.
Is somebody blowing a trumpet there, Zim?
I guess? I just started hearing that and was like, the fuck?
Oh, I just thought of an upgrade you could give.
Oh,
It could give trained minions access to a single vigor and willpower.
ooh.
Exactly one of each.
I like that idea. I'm still leaning more towards the idea of, you know, I like the idea of having a separate one that allows you to change them into a trained minion. I really
Yeah, I mean,
like
I'm fine
that.
with that.
I really like that.
I'm just saying for upgrading, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Seriously, what the fuck?
I don't know.
That is going to be so distracting. Okay. Focusing. Gives them, so the enhanced minion gives them access to a single vigor and willpower. I like that. Gives them, in the case of untrained, they then get 2 standard actions. In the case of trained, they then get full, 2 standard quick
Full
and
action
reaction.
Yep.
And I am thinking that it would have the cost for maintaining them. So, like, in the case of, creating a trained minion, or, raising a zombie, to keep them going, like, obviously you gotta pay the initial cost to raise them in the first place. But then to keep them going, you enhance them with the leadership primeval feature, and then instead of that tier 2 zombie costing 6 motes, it only costs 3. But that is only for maintaining them after the fact. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I think the maintenance cost thing will get tricky and spreadsheet simulator really quickly.
To be fair, this whole thing
you're
is going to
planning
get
on-
spreadsheet simulator very quickly.
IMO, if you're trying to keep them, you should already be doing permanency, and then they should just fall into the leadership. I don't think temporary minions should fall into the leadership that easily.
On the side, if we want to have a different upgrade for them falling into leadership, we could also make it so that way minions still get access to their reactions, so that way you could still give the orders if you pick up the orders.
Oh, good point. So, enhancing a... Alright, so the current proposal is enhancing a standard minion, or an untrained minion, will give them vigor, willpower, and another standard for 2 standard actions, and then 1 reaction. That the current proposal?
Yeah, because we should probably make trained minions have a reaction anyway. Just to be honest. So I'm going to go ahead and add that.
That'd be fine.
If they're trained, they should be able to react to things. It makes sense that untrained ones won't be able to react fast enough to basically go, lol, Lamau, you're trying to walk away from me, I'm going to stab you instantly.
Well,
Or punch you instantly.
Alright, well, I'm okay with that, but that does mean that the enhanced minion kind of, I mean, it adds a standard action to untrained and a quick action to trained. Kind of lopsided there a bit.
Could always have it add a second reaction as well. So that way you can always have one. Well, always, but you'll be able to give them an order without it also taking away their ability to AOO an enemy if they try and get away.
That works for me. Alright, so let me make notes here. Alright, so... Also, when we're done discussing this, please don't delete this stuff from this document. I will be using that.
I figured.
I'll take care of deleting it before we go live. I just want to...
Yeah.
Alright, so...
I was just gonna do the classic of... I'm just gonna put this in, like, a really light orange. So that way it's very obvious.
Alright, so Enhanced Minion will... Untrained, trained... I think whoever is doing that is out on their balcony. Alright, so untrained... gains standard action, 1 reaction, gains vigor, willpower. Trained gains quick action, 1 reaction, additional, but gains vigor, willpower. Alright. I guess the only other thing would be... they gain a... I would say they gain one, for both of them, they gain 1 weapon or armor feat of your choice. Maybe?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Actually, for the trained, maybe it should be 1 weapon and 1 armor feat.
To be fair, weren't we also discussing them just have the trained minions having 2 feats that are meant to be used on a weapon and an armor feat?
I think that
We did talk about that earlier.
Ah, right, we did.
For trained. I'll just write that into the thing where it goes feats 2.
Yeah, that works.
2, 4.
Sorry, I was replying to a, ticket on the Discord real quick.
Yeah, makes sense.
And now Whiskers needs me to send info for the, I really wish Discord still had the permanent link for images.
Yeah.
It was so nice. Sorry, everybody. Just trying to send this info real quick. Alright, that should be everything. Okay, where were we? Right, minions.
We had...
I think we're good on that.
Yeah, should be fine.
So now the question is, how much XP should it cost? Keeping in mind that the intention is to be able to do the purchases multiple times for multiple minions. I'm
It doesn't spawn the minion out of nowhere, really.
Yeah.
So I'd say like 15 maybe.
That's what I was thinking. Your thoughts, Sarah? You are muted if you're trying to talk, Era.
He might still be stepped away.
Ugh! Bap the Era.
No, mute was stuck and my Discord was frozen.
Ah.
15's alright for now. We might want to reconsider it after it's gotten a little play testing to see how it goes. Because one hesitation I have is we don't have a current maximum amount of minions you can have at once. But 15 for now.
Yeah, but it's to upgrade. With how I thought it worked, it was you pay 15, you're able to upgrade a minion.
Yeah, this is not giving you a minion. This is you can upgrade an existing minion.
And you purchase this per minion.
No, I got that part. What I'm worried about is somebody just only taking that.
Well, yeah, but then they'd need to have the minions to fill that out.
Yeah.
True.
And then they'd still probably get fucking ruined by the first person that has actual AoE. Or, God forbid, charm effects.
Sorry, I might be having flashbacks from other people who were taking the leadership feat.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I know you're having 3.5 leadership feat flashbacks right now, but I'm just saying in our system, there are ways to deal with it.
Okay.
Our counters have counters. Alright. Oh, crap.
Look, all I'm saying, it's possible to ranged sphere AoE implement a charm, which means that someone can steal your entire minion group in a single turn if you bunch them up and they don't have protections against that.
All your minions belong to me.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, for people who don't have anything to deal with multiple enemies, yeah, it's going to be good, but the moment someone actually does that, it's like, oh shit, I don't want to get my guys killed. Unless they're already dead and you're rising them up, in which case, you know, Lich Master it up, boy.
Actually, Ido, that does bring me... Legit, Ido, that does bring me to the next subject. Number 2. Which I did only put in some preliminary ideas for if you're trying to buff up a companion, but I was legit thinking, what if you want your number 2 to be another player? So what can we give the number 2 for that? First off, like I put in there, it does allow them to have access to all of your or at least I thought I put that in there. Ah, yes. They do get access
to your non-minion abilities.
Yeah. So they get access to your command, your hold the line, whites of their eyes, etc., etc. Yeah, the minion would, if it is a minion, they would still take up one of your purchases of enhanced minion. But I do want to include rules for if you are doing a companion with this, or, you know, your number 2 is a companion or another player, such as Ido, or Haboku, rather.
Okay, so first off, I guess the companion could also just end up taking the command tree, and that 10% would cover it if the companion or if you are at, it was 25 plus 42 for the lot. So if you're at 670 XP, that XP can in fact cover repurchasing the leadership tree off of the companion. But it does also seem a little bit weird that it makes it so that way the companion does not have access to the buffs.
Oh no, the intention was that the companion would also have
No, it doesn't.
I guess
It says instead of other buffs, they will receive 10% more of the XP you receive.
okay.
They do not get access.
Again, I just kind of threw this all together, but my intention with that specific line was like the buffs that we are giving from Enhanced Minion. So, like, your companion would not get, the gain standard action and one reaction and all of that.
Okay.
But the
So
intention...
instead of other buffs...
I worded it
enhanced.
poorly, but my intention was the companion would still get access to this part that I've highlighted.
Okay. In that case, so instead of saying instead of other buffs, you should say instead of the buffs from Enhanced Minion.
Alright, so that is fixed. But yeah, that was kind of my preliminary thing, because I also was planning... I was also wanting number 2 to, make them stronger. I guess it could upgrade their tier. While you're mulling that over, I'll be right back. But I was originally thinking, like, maybe just +1 across the board on stats for number 2.
Yeah, which is mostly the result of going up a tier anyway. Yeah, I mean, having them go up a tier, I guess that's fine. I was thinking it over. It'll give them 4 more HP. It'll give them +1 to all their defensive stats, and it'll give them 4 more to their strike power and accuracy. So yeah, having them go up a tier, if they're a minion and they're your number 2, then yeah.
Sorry, I was...
The tough part is thinking about it, like, having this affect another player on a permanent basis is...
Messy.
Yeah. At least when it comes to the whole, like, changing any of their stats. For giving them access to your leadership abilities is nice.
Yeah, I mean, that might be the only balanced way to go about it, is just make it so that way you're... the things that you buy as far as commands go, without them having to buy them themselves, might be the only balanced way to handle it.
Basically deputizing another player to be able to use your leadership abilities.
Yeah, or your companion, if you've got that all listed out.
Okay. Well, here's what I am thinking. The cost will be... For number 2, If it is on a minion, we can kind of, I'm thinking that we add part of your...
Alternatively, you could always just make number 2 has to be a companion.
I don't know if I want to go that route.
And that
It would keep it a little bit more simple than having to make up a whole rule set.
I mean, I guess it would. But
It would, but it would also... It would make it more simple, you're right. However, it would make it necessary to invest into the companion tree, which the companion tree is kind of expensive. And also, like, the companion is an intelligent creature, and your number 2 may not necessarily be an intelligent creature. Like, if you've just got a zombie that you decide, yep, you're my second in command, they're not exactly
if you're
an
wanting to
actual
lich it up and
character.
you decide that this skeleton is going to be your death knight, you know.
Yeah, they're not necessarily intelligent, but, well, they could still do the job.
They can do the job, and they can boss the other minions around too, probably. Even if in a rudimentary way.
What I am thinking, you get to add one of your attributes to their max HP, instead of, all the other things we were suggesting about upgrading tier. I'm thinking you get to add one of your attributes to their max HP, and maybe half your presence to their strike. Or all of your presence, rather, because I guess it can only really go up to 5, but you know.
Yeah, and if you're specializing in it and getting, a bunch of upgrades for that, then, you're literally specializing in it, so, go ahead.
So yeah, that's the upgrade that the number 2 gives, is my proposal.
And this would be for non-companions, non-players, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, this is for
What I am thinking is we have variable costs for this depending on what you're going to make your number 2. Because, like, it doesn't make much sense for the cost of it to be the same for making a minion number 2 as opposed to a player where all the player is getting is your access to your command stuff.
So basically number 2 in subcategories.
Yeah. In fact, we'll probably split it out into number 2 minion, number 2 companion, number 2 player.
Because if you max out companion, you basically have a second character. So,
Well, yeah, but that's literally the point.
yeah.
Currently,
So
they
making up
can... Currently, a companion can only get up to 75% of your XP, and that does require a significant investment.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
But it is still essentially a second player.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
second character.
I do like the idea of giving them more percentage of your XP for that. But that is negotiable on how much. Hi, Fetch. So, thoughts on that?
I mean, overall, this upgrade is like kind of messy, but we are trying to make rules for it upgrading 3 separate things at the same time within a single rule set.
Yeah.
Baseline, I think that's where we're gonna. I'm fine with that for now.
Yeah.
If we want to upgrade the experience for the companion specifically, I think that's. I think giving them access. I think treating companions and players the same is fine as base, personally, but.
Well, the difference
But we don't want to
is...
give other players extra XP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that wouldn't really work.
Well, I'm saying don't give companions extra experience.
Oh.
Necessarily.
I've just thought of the funniest thing. Your companion
Oh.
could technically take this and make you their number 2. Your own companion can second you.
Ah, so what Arf might do.
Yeah.
Because after
just
all,
saying, it's very
Arf
funny
is the
that
main
technic-
character.
I'm just saying, it's very funny to me that technically speaking, your character's companion can make your character the secondary one.
Should we put in a little note in the rules saying they cannot, companions cannot pick up this primeval feature?
No, I think it's funny.
No, because
and it's a very he's the bad guy move.
Well, there's that, but also legitimately, like I can see people definitely wanting their companion to be like a marshal, or like to be like a more champion-focused kind of character, where their companion can like lead the minions into battle.
Cosmo, you
But
have Cosmo, you have arrived to a dev session for Scar. And we also have Whiskers here doing art. And then there's Placid Plastic Duck Simulator, because ducks. What's so confusing?
Yeah.
Cosmo, you always seem to come in at a weird moment in time.
I think this one's on him putting it. I think it's him that's making it weird.
I mean, Ido, I have a very cute pet. What are you talking about?
Alright. Oh, we were talking about how it's not a matter of controlling, it's just that your companion could technically make you their number 2. Their second in command. But anyways, I still very much feel that the companion should get extra XP.
Or if you want to look at it this way, I guess they technically are by getting access to some of your other tree if you purchase it. But how messy would it being 85% total make things?
Ugh. That is a number right there. Yep.
Okay, we make it 5%, and then it's a nice even 80%.
I'm just sort of pointing it out because of our multiplication thing.
Yeah, I would still say stick with 85. It's just not as easy to math as 25, 50, 75 usually off the top of your head. But at that point, you're making a spreadsheet anyways, I hope.
I mean, I'm not exactly like sold on the whole extra XP thing, but I mean, I guess it doesn't really like hurt that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what do we want to go with?
I mean, I'm fine with it.
All right.
So
We
fine
can-
with the 10%?
I mean, yeah. I'm kind of in Tal's boat where I'm not sold, but I guess it's not too big of a deal, so I might as well go for it.
Yep.
Alright, so now comes the other question. How much charge are these going to be? I think we'll... Yeah, doing them 3 different ones would be good.
We'll look at one thing in particular. Did we want to do... Go ahead.
Also, I just realized I made a small mistake. That was supposed to be number 1. It was a reference to what Picard called Striker. You know, the commander is the captain of the ship, and then the first mate is the one you put this on. Raijin!
But then you can't. But then you can't do the funny joke
What joke?
with the companion.
Okay, we could keep it 2. I'm okay with that.
Also, I think it's probably better keeping it as number 2, considering the whole. You're basically making someone like second in command, literally.
Hi, Raijin.
Raijin.
So looking at companions, the stat upgrade is 20 experience, the plus ultra upgrade is 40, and true independence is 25. Did we want to possibly do 15, 20, and then like 30? 15 for just basic minion, 20 for party member, and like 30 for the companion?
I would
Probably
say,
think that.
personally, I would say party member should be the cheapest. Because they're kind of getting the least out of this.
Did I word that right, or did I screw up my wording? Because I meant
You did say the
party at
basic minion
15.
being 15.
I meant party, not mint. Brain.
For me,
Too
I
many
am...
terms in my head right now. Go ahead.
The other consideration here is that to even get number 2, you already have to have invested 30 XP into this. So with that in mind, I am thinking another player would be 10, for a minion would be 15, and for a companion would be 20.
I mean, it is also an effect that's giving plus 10% XP to the companion.
Yeah.
In addition to the other effects.
So the companion, I kind of want to be a little bit more expensive.
Like the other ones
Well, I
guys
know
are
you
really
hate
fine with,
companions.
yeah.
I got that.
I don't hate companions.
Both me and Era have characters that have a companion upgrade actively currently. We're advocating for ourselves to have to spend more.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Spike.
Yep.
Because Spike's kind of back burner. The only reason he's still there is because I'm like, well, what if he just, comes out to do his story?
I mean, I kind of figured
I
that's
do
why
not.
he was still there.
Also, Cosmo, I do not hate friends.
Even with the 20, though, that would be 50 XP that you'd have to invest to get that.
A generous bestowal.
Oh, G-Man.
Jimund tipped $10, Razim Squeaky.
Thank you so much for that support. Thank you very much.
Hold on, let me do math. Calculator.
Because you have to have at least 2 purchases of Enhanced Minion in the first place for this.
Oh, let's see. Times. Hope I did that backwards.
Apparently, the auto mod is now doing parts of words.
Weird.
It held back
what I'm
that
looking at is
message. It held back that message because of the last word in there, but dropped the ED at the start. I don't know what that means, so I don't want to say it. Because I'm sure there's some obscure thing that it's, a thing now, but still weird. But anyways.
I thought we already, knew about the Scunthorpe problem.
The what problem?
Oh. Yeah, there's something called the Scunthorpe problem. Let me write out in the chat real quick. Scunthorpe. Ignore the first letter. People from Scunthorpe were not able to sign up to places because it was blacklisted.
Ah. Lovely.
Because of a dirty word filter. It's literally called the Scunthorpe problem. When auto moderation, anti-dirty word filtery stuff will block entirely innocent words because inside of them are profane words.
Fair enough. But either way, costs on this.
What were you proposing for cost again?
10 for player, 15 for minion, 20 for companion.
Okay. So, quick math or napkin math. Looking at the companions, the upgrade cost from the baseline additional 25% experience is about 12.5. You also get that, so around 6 for the first one. So that'd be about six of that experience is upgrading. And companion was how many experience again? God darn it, calculator, stay open.
20 is my suggestion for the number 2.
Okay. So technically that is within range of the companions. On a quick napkin math basis. Since we're not doing attributes or merits specifically.
Duckies roasting on an open fire.
Thoughts, Tal?
I mean, regardless, it's gonna run into this is one of the things where it's really hard to cost out properly before people really start using it.
Okay, let's
And
just
I
lock
haven't
it in.
ran, and I haven't really ran any testing on it, obviously. So
We'll lock
Just
it in
stop
for
locking
now,
it for now, I guess.
and yeah, we can adjust later. I know there's that concern of people being upset over,
I like
things
all
going
that.
up, but frankly, I don't care about that, because guess what, guys? It's a development system. Things are gonna change. And hello, Ducks. Yes, that's you.
yep, picks up the pet so you can watch the art from my lap.
Alright, locking that in, let's move on to something else. Actually, let's go and take a small break, split up the recordings, and then continue.
Okay,
all right.
BRB.
Well, first I guess I should ask, you guys good with doing the whole session time for DAH for this? Because I know we've still got a
pretty much.
proposal from Era and such to get to, and I've got a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
on the discussion list to go through, so...
And we got Magic to finish off
Yeah.
officially then.
Yeah, I'm fine.
So-
with it.
I'm fine.
Yeah, we got a lot to do, so yeah.
It's
Well,
a big
good.
I
update.
took a nap. I kind of figured this is happening.
Yeah. We got a lot to do, so we're going to split up recordings and keep going and take a small break here, everybody. So thank you so much for joining so far today. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more. They're on the website as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that keeps this channel alive and going. I cannot do this without your guys' help and your support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It's one of the best ways to support the channel, though you can also do so by sharing the stream around, grabbing packs of cards to stream loots, using our Humble Bundle partner link, or just coming by and hanging out. But for now, thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to check out our Scar system, and I bid you the most fondest adieu.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.